Hello and welcome to this video dedicated to the communication between Shiny modules. If you have already used Shiny to build interactive applications, you probably know that organizing and maintaining a clear structure can quickly become a challenge, especially when the apps are growing and there is a need to wrap different parts or components into different modules and make them communicate together. This can very quickly become a challenge or even a problem. The good news is there is a guide that can help you understand the communication between Shiny modules, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So just sit back, relax, and let's go. To access the guide, you can go to my GitHub profile from my website, but I will put the link as well, and find the repository in the shortcut area. Once you're inside the repository, there is a link to the GitHub page hosting the guide in the About section. I invite you to read about the motivations behind this work. Also, one important point is that the guide comes with many templates to illustrate different chapters, and all these resources are available for you to try it by yourself or use it as a basis for your own work. You can find the link to these resources either at the end of the introduction page in this tip area or in a specific page with all the details, and of course along the different chapters of the book. There is a separate folder for each example with a Shiny app inside with the UI and server, and also the code for one or several modules. So here we have a submodule. I tried to build them so that only what's required is in there. So each of them is really dedicated to a specific chapter in the book, and it's usually made of a very short piece of code. There are three main parts in this guide, and the first one is dedicated to the communication foundations. This section is really meant to be a step-by-step learning process. So as I had to dive to the what happens inside a module to understand how to optimize the communication, then the guide itself is built the other way. So we start from the inside of a module, we go through the inputs, through the outputs, then we ask ourselves how to communicate from a module to the outside and how to communicate from the outside to a module. And this is the reason why the communication between modules, which is obviously the core chapter of the book, is actually the wrap up, the conclusion of this first section. The second part is dedicated to more advanced considerations and scenarios. Once again, this is something that I needed for my own projects, and I believe many people could face same challenges, especially when it comes to building complex communication objects or instructions. There are some UI versus server side considerations. Um, Additional considerations about function parameters and return values, and two chapters about building complex communication objects and instructions. And the third part is about architecture thinking. The goal here is to really avoid the mess that we saw in the introduction picture, where anything is plugged to anything and a modular app ends up in not being modular anymore, even if the code is in different modules. There is also an introduction to what I call data-driven modules and feature-driven modules. I believe this is a great way to handle the communication challenges in data-oriented apps. And this is actually a foundation of this communication manifesto that I propose at the end of the guide. The goal here is really to have all the say best practices in a single place, maybe something that can be saved and used each time we have a new app, a new project, and we need to work on the communication architecture before actually starting to code the app. I hope that the first version of this guide will help you understand the communication between Shiny modules. Once again, do not hesitate to use the templates to play around the different chapters. Um, they have been built when I was really trying to understand the core concept of the communication, so they should be helpful. I also invite you to have a look at the reference page where you can find all the resources that were used in this guide. I tried to always go beyond the existing references so that they are critical to understand certain concepts, like, for example, the namespace. From there, feel free to send me your feedbacks, and if there is any mistake, then please open an issue on GitHub, either for the guide itself or for the templates. You can also reach out if you have other use cases that maybe you believe could be integrated into this book. Once again, the guide is accessible from different sources, from my website, inside the portfolio. You can use the book filter directly from the GitHub repository, and of course, I will add the link under this video. And if you want to discover about the key items package that was the motivation behind this work, there is also an introduction video about its demo testing lab. The link should pop up somewhere on the screen. Thank you for watching and see you in another video.